guys. As you can see from this photo, I've been a nerd for a long time. And, you know, what's a nerd? Right? A nerd is one who's got the tools that they need to solve a problem and a willingness to do that. And so at this age, right, you know, I've got all my toys and gear with me. But as I grew older, studied engineering, computer science and electrical engineering, and you know, worked in a lot of different industries. I worked in you know, furniture. I worked in auto salvage and insurance. I was even a sushi chef for a little while. And things didn't get kind of properly weird until I met my co-founder, Eric Gradman. And he and I, in 2008, you know, he's also an engineer. We both happened to be trained clowns. And we were very frustrated with what we were doing. It was, you know, the world financial crisis, things weren't so awesome, and we weren't working on stuff that we were that excited about, and we were pretty frustrated. People were on their phones all the time, on Facebook. We really liked live, right? People in public, getting together, hanging out. So we just started collaborating, making interactive art that would get people playing together. We took a camera and some simple computer vision software, pointed it at a whiteboard, and made this simple interactive installation. The camera would pick up what you were drawing, the projector would project a physics simulation that would bounce off of what you did. Really simple. We made it in an evening, we took it to a party and people liked it, so we said, hey, this is really fun. Let's make as much stuff as we possibly can, see if we can challenge ourselves to make something new every single month. We made our own simple arcade cabinet, 6 players all around this table. My favorite part is most people come to an event in 2 and 4. 6 really guaranteed you were meeting somebody new. You know, it's maybe awkward to be like, hey, what do you do for work? But really easy to be like, I'm going to kill you next time. And you know, also the graphics on here, super simple. You know, I mean, this is not Xbox Halo level graphics. It didn't take much. A lot of the best games are really simple games. What else? Let's see here. We filled a room with fog and laser beams. My favorite thing about this is everyone knows what to do in a room of laser beams. It doesn't matter who you are, you know. And we would take these to fine dining events and people in, you know, ball gowns and tuxedos, commando rolling across the floor. And you know, my co-founder ended up meeting his wife in this thing at one of those events. They got married. They actually just had their first kid a year ago. It's actually his birthday this Sunday. And so I still consider this absolutely our most effective game. Okay. So clickers give me a hard time. All right. So we also said, hey, Rock Band is awesome. Space Battle is awesome. Let's do Rock Band for Space Battle. 2 ships, a pilot, a gunner, and a navigator on one ship, a pilot, a gunner, and a navigator on the other ship, and you have to try to destroy each other's ships. So really a ton of fun. Again, getting people together, playing in public. And you know, also simple stuff, right? This is a wall of buttons. You might think to yourself, a wall of buttons, I mean, that's ridiculous. But you know, shockingly, you know, whack-a-mole meets Twister is really a lot of fun, getting people, you know, running together at the same time. Ultimately, a rock band, this incredible rock band reaches out and says, hey, we heard about this band of nerds in downtown Los Angeles. We'd love your help with a music video. And we said, wow, of course we'll help you do that. And it started like this, it ended like this. And you know, over the course of a 20,000 square foot warehouse, we smashed televisions and dropped pianos and made this big, crazy Rube Goldberg machine. And OK Go is the group. They've gone on to create so many other incredible music videos. And they're a bunch of great nerds also. And you know, we really just had a ball building this thing. But the thing that was the most fascinating to me is went super viral, about 50 some odd million views. We got all these calls from parents and teachers. And they were using this in their physics classes, in their science classes. And we thought to ourselves, wow, that is wild. This music video that we were just sort of screwing around with on a weekend, like that is used as a teaching tool. Like we're not educators, like what's going on? So we filed that away in our heads and you know, kept building stuff and started to do bigger and bigger projects. We helped Chevy launch a car by literally bungee jumping it off a tower of shipping containers. You know, wonderfully, no one was hurt, but it would literally dip its nose into this little kiddie pool. So we said, okay, we've done this. Let's launch this as a real company. And so we started a circus called 2-Bit Circus, and we've been continuing to build stuff ever since. everything from an escape room for Warner Brothers. We built our own 360 camera when VR first launched, or launched for the second time in the 2010s. And we strapped that to a race car, drove it at 200 miles an hour around a racetrack so that we could sit you in a motion platform and you could feel what it was like to be a race car driver. We did the same for the NFL. You would be able to feel what it was like to run the touchdown pass. This little black plates under it would vibrate as you would run down the field. And for the Olympics, what's it like to dive off the high dive? What's it like to be there on the sand with the volleyball players? Again, what's it like to actually be the athlete? So really put a lot of folks through virtual reality. Kind of funny for a bunch of nerds that don't really like sports. We did all this sports stuff. But we also made a cloud that rains tequila, which was a lot of fun. We did that for the Mexican Board of Tourism. I just love the Mexican Board of Tourism that they would invest in something like this. Every time it would rain in Berlin, it would rain tequila out of our cloud. So that was really just had a ball. And after building all of this crazy stuff, right, things in virtual reality, physical installations. We started to think about, well, hey, what's meaningful in life? What are the things that we should really, we've got this big band of nerds, what should we be working on? All the problems we should solve. And there's this concept in Japanese called ikigai. And ikigai is a really powerful sentiment. And it's about, how you can have a beautiful life. And it has this Venn diagram. And at the intersection of this Venn diagram is where what they believe happiness lies. And there's a bunch of important things here, right? It's important to do what you love. It's important to do what you're good at, right? It's important to do what you can be paid for. And it's also important to do what the world needs. And if you can sit at that intersection of all those things, that is where you will really truly find happiness. And so we started to explore, well, gosh, what does the world need? And it's kind of a hard question to answer. Of all the things that I should work on for the next hour, what should I do, right? What's my most highly leveraged time? And so as we thought about what the world needs, started to look around, and it turns out there's lists, right? There's a lot of smart people who have gotten together and said, hey, we know exactly what it is that the world needs. So there's a whole set of hard problems out there, and I would urge you to take a look at these hard problems as you think about what you're going to work on next, because these are the things that we can really fundamentally change humanity. The National Academy of Engineers has what they call their grand challenges, their global grand challenges. The UN has their sustainability development goals. There it is. The UN has their sustainability development goals, and even a bunch of the great venture capitalists of the world. Y Combinator has a whole list of what it is that they believe are the startups that they would like to fund, that they think are going to be the most impactful. Andreessen Horowitz, the list just goes on and on. So we looked at all of those and we said, well, education and learning is an important one, right? We've got no shortage of hard problems, but we do have a major shortage of creative, passionate inventors to go out and solve those problems. So education was the one that we got excited about. And okay, well, why now, right? Why should we be talking about this now? Why is it important now? Well, the US Department of Labor has a statistic that is terrifying. 65% are going to be, of school children today are going to be in jobs that don't exist yet. Now imagine that. It doesn't actually even mean the jobs will exist. So that's a pretty powerful statement. That not only the job, how hard it is to train people for jobs that don't exist and that they might not actually exist. But the best part is, until everything is freaking awesome, there is work to do. There is a lot of great things that we can work on. So, the best news, it's easier than ever. It is absolutely easier than ever to be an inventor, to be able to build and work on these solutions. And a couple of examples. My background is computer science. When you're going to do, learn a new language, the fundamental test is, how can I print the words "hello world"? Well, in the 80s, in assembly language, it looks like this. And that is totally terrible. I studied computer science, and I don't ever want to have to do this again. You're keeping track of memory registers and all sorts of stuff that's very foreign to humans. 10 years later, hello world looks like this, all right? In the programming language C, it's getting a lot easier. 10 years later, you can do it in Python. Hello world, it's that easy. Even later than that, you can do it on your iPad in pictures, right? This is so the language is getting so much more accessible, so much easier to use. And that's not just in programming. CAD design. If you're going to design a new component, a new piece of metal, work on some new device, CAD used to look like this. Totally foreign, archaic, you needed a PhD. Now, you can literally do it on, in your web browser and in an afternoon. So pick your domain, and the tools and the accessibility for it are easier than they've ever been, so that in the course of a weekend, you can have a working solution. So Madeline Engel says, inspiration comes during work, not before it. And this is really powerful. You're not sitting on the couch and you have a light bulb moment. You are actively engaged in something. You're actively engaged in solving a problem or working on some project. And that's when you realize, oh my gosh, there's some new solution. I don't know if you've played with the toy Bop It, that wonderful toy. He set out to make a remote control. He thought that televisions needed a new remote control. And instead, as nobody wanted to buy his remote control, he realized, wow, this would be a really cool toy. And sure enough, it became an incredible toy and a massive success. It took him engaging in one direction only to realize that the right solution was in another direction. So if the old school approach to learning is that you learn to read so that you can then read lots of books in order to learn, the new school approach is learn to make, right? Start making things, and in the process of making, you're going to start to that's where you're going to be learning, right? That's when you're going to start to discover the new solution, discover the new direction. Okay, so there's a term STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Okay, great. Politicians and educators have agreed that that's going to be the domain that we know we need more students trained in this domain. But the sad part is, it's kind of got a branding problem. It's not that, it doesn't sound as exciting as it really is. And in fact, a lot of people think of this guy when they think of STEM. And, he's probably done some really incredible stuff, but that's not, this is not exactly as exciting as being a basketball player or a DJ, right? But if you knew Anouk Wipprecht, this incredible fashion designer who 3D printed this whole thing and has motion sensors so that if you approach her from the side, these friggin' things attack out at you. She made a dress that is all white, and over the course of the night, ink drips from her shoulders all the way down this dress. I mean, incredible inventor, incredible creative, and also a STEM person. So we got very excited about the term STEAM, STEM plus art. The art, the creativity, that's the exciting stuff. That's why we want to do this. Yeah. So STEAM is powerful, right? It's the art and the creativity is why all of our band of nerds got into this kind of stuff, and it's the reason for being able to get excited about these. And you think of this guy, Leonardo da Vinci, right? Is he a STEM guy? Sure, yeah, engineer, mathematician, and an artist, right? An incredible creative, an incredible inventor. So we decided, hey, all right, we've done 100 events for other people, let's do our own event. We'll do a big traveling carnival, STEAM carnival, and it'll be one half all the high-tech creations we've been making for years, one half a bunch of hands-on projects to inspire students about science, engineering, all the fundamentals of invention, programming, electronics, fabrication, creativity, design thinking. I love this, when you're building a project, this was our design goal. So I call this our over-promising rendering. Didn't look like that. It looked like this! Which was also fun. But at the same time, we did pack in as much crazy stuff as we could. Remember the old dunk tank where you throw a ball and you fall in water? We thought, water is pretty cool. Fire is awesome. So ours is the dunk tank flambe. You throw a ball, you're immersed in that fireball, but you don't die because you're wearing this fire suit. You can see here, right there, the person getting immersed in fire. And we've done this huge event in Los Angeles. We've been sponsored by IBM and Intel and the fire suit company. And so I call up the CEO of Nutex, the fire suit company, and I was like, hey, dude, so excited. We're getting ready to go up to San Francisco. We're bringing the dunk tank. Any chance you have those suits in kid sizes? He was like, what? No, I don't have them in kid sizes. What are you talking about? I was like, yeah, all right, maybe that's a bad idea. Okay. So I've just got a really short video. We actually took one of our cameras wrapped in, a GoPro camera wrapped in fire-retardant cloth into the dunk tank. Whoa, sorry. So here goes. You're going to get a chance to see. And my favorite part is these cameras all melted, but we were able to get the data off. So this kid tries, his arm's really not kind of ready. But this girl, oh yeah. So nuts. Still, even every time I see this, I still can't believe it. Oh my God. See, science